Oh, hey, welcome back to another video. Today, different than in the past. You know, today I'm coming to you from my garage. Coming from my garage, Eric. Coming to you from my garage. Yeah, here to the garage to see my garage. As you can see, the Adventure Jeep's pulled in here. This is my third bay garage. My old Marathon fuel pump sign. You know, for those of you who didn't know, when I was in high school and even in college, I worked at a Marathon gas station, to pay my way through school. You know, that's something I did. But this morning, what I thought we'd do is something that's different. But it's also, kind of like what you've seen some, Thomas Heaton, Mark Denny, and right now Nigel Danson. They're doing their van builds, or have done van build outs. Well, I don't have a van, but I do have an adventure Jeep. So, and of course, keeping with the, Jeep stands for just empty every pocket. I want to make modifications to my Jeep. So today I'm going to actually video a little bit of a modification, here to my Jeep. I want to put on new headlights. Currently I have, halogens. I want them to be LEDs, so the current bulbs are in there, and here's, the LED bulbs that I've purchased to replace them with. So we're going to put those in today and video a little bit of that and turn that into a video. Now, I don't know if this is something that, people like or you're going to want to tune into, but I thought I'd do something a little different, and let you see what it's like to try to do some of this stuff. So, we'll video some, talk a little bit, and see what we can come up with here from a video standpoint. So thanks for coming along, everybody. All right, so I watch YouTube videos on this, and basically what you need to do is remove, basically the front grille has to come out. This whole setup here has to come out, but you remove it by taking these little things out. Or right here's where I remove this one. Here's another one. All right, here's one, here's one, here's one, here's one. So supposedly you can take those out and then just pull the grill forward and it'll come out. Now, we're going to find out. All right, so let's try this, and see how it turns out. Now, to do this, I'm using a flathead screwdriver. I don't have the actual tool to do it with, but flathead screwdriver should work. It certainly feels like the proper tool would be a little bit better for this, but it is working. Because once you get it started, it isn't too difficult to get out. Well, this one's proven to be a little bit more difficult than the others. There it goes. Hopefully it won't. One of the things that concerns me is if I break these things and then they don't want to go back in or stay in. That worries me a little bit, but again, having never done this, I have no idea. Ooh, Jesus. All right. Nope, that was it. It just pulls right out, just like they said. It literally just pulls right out. So now the next thing is, got to remove these bolts and take out the bulbs. So we're going to have to, it looks like this thing must just attach here at the bottom. All right, so the proper tool for this is a 10 millimeter socket, which, I don't know if anybody can see this, but this is a, Craftsman series, set that my dad bought me right after I got married almost 40 years ago. All right, and I've had it ever since. This is, the old stuff lasts and works really well. So now, got to go in here and try to remove these bolts, which shouldn't be too hard. And then we'll pull the light out and change the bulb. So I ended up finding that it was easier to get at these bolts if I took the grill off. So I managed to pull it off. So we'll keep working here, although it looks like I got one of my metal clips stayed on, so I may have to mess with that a little bit. So keep working. All right, so I got the bolts out. Now you pull out the actual headlight itself. Let me take this off of here so you can see. Yes, I'm wearing my glasses. My eyes just aren't good enough anymore. But here, you can see this is the headlight. The bulb's inside here. So we should just be able to take that off. Like that. There's the bulb. Now we just got to take this loose, then take out the bulb, all right, and then put the new bulb in. So see if I can do that without breaking anything. Put you back up here on the tripod. It's a lot easier. Man, why does my hat always slide to the side? I don't know. Must have a funky shaped head. All right, so I got the bulb out. Put the new one in. What you got to see here is that this, comes with a long cord to it. You got to hook it to that, and then you got to fit it all back inside here. So once you've done that, then you can, put everything back together. So let's go ahead and do that. Now let's see what we get. Oh. All right, so I got this back on. Man, my hat's sideways again. But anyway, I got this on. I haven't plugged it in all the way, but as you can see, look at the difference. Look at the difference. That's pretty amazing. All right, pretty darn amazing. And that's something that I want. I want that kind of light. Now, what I didn't try was a high beam, so I'm not sure it will work without the motor on, because I've never tried that. But let's see. Now, I guess it does. There you go. But it won't do it unless I have the motor on and stay in high beam. But clearly, makes a huge difference. Which is what I was after, because the one thing, the lights on this at night are terrible. And, I drive to work every day, in the dark. So being able to see is great. A little better is great. And we got a lot of issues around here with deer in the morning. I run into a lot of that, crossing the road. So I got to be able to see them better. And one of the changes from the adventure wagon to the adventure Jeep was I went from LEDs to not having them. So by switching this around, now I'll have a little bit better visibility. So let me work on this, put it all back together, and we'll talk here once I get done. Well, I finally completed my install of my headlights. Funny story, I'll tell you here in a second. Here's the front of the Jeep, as you can see. Both headlights in. I just got to put the grill back on. But interesting story. So the last time when I was working on this thing, all I do is just put the grill back on and we'd be done. Basically, wasn't true. The headlight here on the passenger side did not work. Nothing I could do made it work. So I thought, maybe it was something I did, but it ended up being a bad connection inside the bulb. So I got a hold of Extreme Terrain, which is who I had bought the headlights from. Told them what I had. And they basically said, look, return it, we'll credit you, we'll ship you out some new ones. So they did a great job. They were fine to deal with. They were quick, honorable, did everything they should have. Sent me a new set of lights, and I finally got a chance today to put them in, and so there they are. And I'll put the dash back or the grill back on, and we'll be done. But certainly not what I expected. It took basically an extra week to get this stuff done. So unfortunately that's just how it worked out. But I'm happy with what I got here. I'm happy with the way it looks. Happy with Extreme Terrain and what they did. I mean, can't ask for much more than that. So if you're looking for somebody to buy some stuff for a Jeep or your truck or anything like that, Extreme Terrain, look them up online, extremeterrain.com, I think it is. And they seem to be pretty reputable people to deal with. So I'll wrap this up here. Just say thanks for coming along. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. I know it's a little different video, but it's something I wanted to do, something a little unique. And I will tell you this, I just got back from Red River Gorge. I took some images, put together a little bit of video for that. So I'll put that out, here in the next couple of weeks, so you'll see that as well. But, thanks for coming along, everybody. Appreciate each and every one of you. Until we see you again, stay safe.